Hi, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda, and I'm so excited to be doing my very first Stretch the Sketch. The sketch that we're doing for December of 2021 is up here in the upper right or left corner, and I'm using photos from when my husband took our oldest as kind of a graduation gift to the premiere opening of Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, California. And they had a couple extra days there, and actually our nephew and my husband's brother and wife, I believe, were also out there because they were a vendor, and so they got to be invited to this premiere event as well. So I picked just the photos of them doing rides, and I went into my stash, deep dig into my stash from Close to My Heart, and pulled out this Zipadee paper. And if you're familiar with Close to My Heart paper at all, this is the paper that is, it's really thin. It's the old thin paper, didn't have branding strips on it. I think on the back side it's a tone on tone of the pattern. It's not even a second pattern on the back. So really old dig. And these photos needed matted, and so I'm not going to make you watch me put all of them on mats, but I was kind of pairing the photos with the 3 different cardstocks to mat them. And how I'm going to stretch this sketch is, instead of putting like tags and papers and strips behind the one photo, I'm actually going to use my photos and tickets from going to Disneyland as kind of the ephemera that is on the sketch. So not only will I have some tickets and some fun things like that thrown in, but I'm also kind of arranging my photos as that element from the sketch. And someone gave me this, it was like a 6x6 paper pad that had all of these theme park, I'll call it, little pieces you could cut out. And I remembered several months ago I was making an album for my mom for when we took her to Disney, and so I had cut out all of these little tags, and I found the bag of them with my Disney paper, shocking of all things. And so I'm just pulling some of that stuff out, and it works perfectly with the Zipadee paper, so I'm very excited about that, kind of combining the old with the new. And then I'm just going to audition all these little elements and see what works and doesn't work. And I don't know if you noticed, but I shifted everything that was kind of on the left over to the right, because the tickets that actually allow you into Disney have their logo in the upper left corner. So and with their orientation, I needed to have those on the left-hand page. Otherwise, I'm just kind of taking all the different little pieces that I had cut out, like I said, several months ago. I want to say it was May even. And just tucking them in behind the photos. I'm really excited how this is coming together. I'm looking at the sketch again going, oh, that's right, they did kind of splatters behind some of the tickets, and I thought about doing that, and then I realized, no, I'm going to sprinkle pixie dust on this layout at the end, and you'll get to see all that. Some of the images aren't a direct correlation to Disneyland, but at the same time, it's still a fun day at a park amusement ride kind of thing, and it really just works with the sketch. So these little tiny tickets, I want to say they're maybe 3/8 of an inch, so not quite just a 1/4 inch, but they're definitely not a 1/2 inch wide by about a 1/2 inch tall, and so they're a little hard to get a hold of. But I glue everything down, and now I'm coming back in and kind of showing you that I wanted the last ticket for entrance into the park to kind of bridge between the 2 pages, so I needed that to be glued securely on that right page. And then some of the things that I glued down just came off, or I actually forgot to even put glue on them with all the little pieces, parts. Sometimes, I don't know if you do that, but I'll pick up a page and all of a sudden things fall down on my desk. So then I went back into my stash and pulled out all of my gems, and this is what I'm going to do when I say that I'm sprinkling pixie dust. So I'm looking through, I pulled black, and I looked at blue, and I didn't see anything that I really liked. And then of course silver, and you can actually color the silver ones with alcohol markers if you have them. I didn't feel that I needed to do that today. I thought the silver was perfect for this layout. So they had these little flares. Again, this is from years ago that these have been, they've made the move from Michigan to California, and I don't think I'm going to get them moved up before we go to Florida. So I'll try though. Maybe that'll be my new goal, is to use up some of these flare. And I'm making some different sections of it. I do end up moving that sketch so you will be able to see the embellishment cluster that I'm doing, or the pixie dust scattering that I'm doing in the upper left corner, but I don't do that until later. And these black ones were actually shaped the same as the silver ones, with the two kind of circles, or, I can't even think, the two bends. But I didn't want everything bend the same way. So I just clip the glue strip that's holding those gems together, and then that allows you to bend it in a different direction. So here you can see that's exactly what I'm doing, is kind of bending it, and you want to cut the inside corners, and that's what allows them to move. Just FYI, learn from my mistakes. Because here I'm cutting the outside edge, and then I realize, no, you have to cut the inside edge because you want to bend them that way. You want, so you cut the inside corner if you want to bend it out. I'm just going to throw that out there. So now I have some of the silver on there and some of the gold on there, and I'm using up the different pieces. I think I do end up using all of the black flare, so I'm very excited about that. I did find pearl flares, so I will have to think of a layout to do those on in the future. And here I did a much better job bending those black flares so that they curve the other direction. And there were some gold, I'll call them like half pearls, that I got out, but they were the wrong color gold. So then I found these red gems, and there were two different colors red, so that's why I held them up against that background paper just to see which red was the correct tone to go with these layouts and photos. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of sprinkling the pixie dust all over. And I'm trying to make a balance between the stars and diamonds that are in the background paper and the gems. And these are kind of they're white, but they're also clear. So they're like half clear, half white little flowers, but they're so pointed leaf flowers that I think it looks, it can be mixed in as pixie dust as well. So I use a few of those, and then I have this silver star confetti that I'm also going to use. And these are the black bursts from Close to My Heart, and I'm just, again, spreading those around, trying to do a balance so that your eye moves from one side of the layout to the other side. And then here are these small silver confetti stars. And you can see them on the screen, but in real life, they really have a nice mirrored shine to them. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on this nonstick mat, and I'll take my piercing tool just so that I'm picking up just a little dot of glue. And then I have the jewel picker. It's like a wax pencil, again, from Close to My Heart. That is my favorite jewel picker that I found so far. They're so popular, actually. They're on back order. They should be in any time now, but they're worth the money. I think it's $6 and you get two of them, and you just sharpen it like a pencil, and they're amazing. So my thought on how I'm putting these stars down is I'm kind of doing like a pool or a collection of stars at the base of the flares, and then they kind of get loosely spread as they go out, kind of like a firework would go off. So I'm putting in my pool right here, and then I'll do that in a couple other areas around the page as well. So I'm just kind of smearing, and the glue that you use matters. So if you're new to scrapbooking, you may not realize, but the green lidded Tombow glue, when it dries clear, but it has a sticky finish to it. So for plastic embellishments, it's great, because you're less likely, especially on cards, to lose any of your gems if you've used the green Tombow Mono glue. And then adhesive tape, and then other clear glues that dry clear as well, but don't have that tack to them, but what I consider bond the paper, are great for paper on paper gluing. So little education on the type of glues that we use. And here now I'm moving to the right hand page and filling in these stars. And hopefully when we do the close-up at the end of the two pages, you can see how these confetti stars work. It's a lot of time to put them all on, but to me it's worth the effort. So I was really excited with how this layout turned out. And I laugh at myself because I don't always count how many dots of glue I put down, and then I don't always find all of them when I'm watching the playback. So it's just kind of fun of, oh, yep, I matched. I did 5 dots this time and 5 stars versus I did 6 dots that time and only 4 stars. The things that we do to ourselves. So here I'm just making that puddle again, or, you know, the concentration of the stars at the base of my pixie dust throwing, I'll call it. And I'm not going to, journal this, because this is a trip that my husband and son took, and so they will actually journal it before we put it in the album. So you can really see the stars on here and all the gems, and I really just like how it worked with the layout. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you'll see that subscribe button in red. Go ahead and click it and you won't miss any content. Here's another video you may be interested in, and check out all the other Stretch the Sketch people. There's a playlist in the description. Have a blessed day.